Hey y'all, just got off a coaching call with one of my clients and really inspired me to take some time, record a quick video for y'all talking about some of these kind of core foundational philosophical components, I guess might be the best way to put it, that I think we cover with most of our clients, or all of our clients really, with Tribe and Purpose, and these kind of foundational principles that can help you as you go through that self-leadership process, trying to understand your purpose, create meaning out of your life, be more effective, get more done, all of those kind of things. There's a couple kind of key stories that I tell on my first few calls with every one of my clients as I break these things down. I really want to share with you guys for one of our free videos for GBLP to go out and just help you guys in that DIY sense, right? So the first piece I want to talk about is purpose. Of course, Tribe and Purpose. Come on, we're always going to be talking about purpose. And I want to tell you guys about the bricklayer's parable. So some of you might have heard this before or heard a different version of it. But I want you to picture yourself, you're walking to work. Every day on your way walking to work, you walk by this building that's under construction, right? And they're building out of bricks, right? So you see these three different bricklayers working on this building. Go by and you're like, you know what? I want to go talk with these folks. I want to see what's going on there, see what they're building, right? And so your curiosity gets the best. And you go, and next day on your way to work, you're walking by and you see, one of the bricklayers, and you go, hey, what are you working on? And he goes, oh, I'm laying bricks. Okay, simple enough, very simple answer. It's true, he is laying bricks, right? He's a bricklayer. So you go by on your second day and you see a different bricklayer, and you say, hey, what are you working on? And they go, oh, I'm laying bricks to build a church. Awesome. Well, I didn't know they were building a church. That's great. You get to see the vision for what that guy's working on, right? So on the third day, you walk by and you see a different bricklayer. And you say, hey, what are you working on? And he says, I'm laying bricks to build a church as the house of God, to bring our community together and to get us closer to heaven. Ooh, that's powerful. What's the difference between those three different bricklayers, right? Well, the first one, he understands his task. I'm laying bricks. Good. Second one understands the task, or really mission might be a better way to put it, the mission and the vision. The vision is the church. I understand my mission is to lay bricks, and that the vision for me laying these bricks, that mission contributes to, is building this church. Now, if you know anything about our alignment matrix, and if you're not, folks, go look up that video. Just search alignment matrix on our page. You'll be able to find another one of the videos. Actually, I think I'm wearing this shirt in that one. But in the alignment matrix, we talk about mission, vision, purpose, right? So that third bricklayer, he understands his purpose. He understands not only that he's laying bricks, not only that he's building a church, but he understands the purpose behind building the church. He understands the impact that he's going to have on his community by doing the work that he's doing. It's a much more powerful place to be. And of course, and I already kind of answered this, but which one of those bricklayers do you think is the most happy? What's the third one? Because he has purpose tied to his daily actions. He's no longer just going to work to go through the motions to get a paycheck, just checking the box, right? What he's doing is he's really contributing to something. He's part of something bigger than himself, going to, Maslow's hierarchy of needs and our need to feel connected and contributing, right? There's something powerful there. And so that third bricklayer has that. Now, that whole bricklayer's parable is just to explain of how important purpose is. You have to understand your purpose in order to get more meaning out of your life and tie it to those daily actions. Because that's the other trick. Not only do you think, yeah, he's happier and all, but let's talk about just laying one brick, right? Just that next brick. Well, if you're laying the next brick because your boss told you to, is that very motivating? Not really, right? If you're doing it just because you want to get the paycheck and get out of here, is that very motivating? Not really. If each brick you're adding helps to build the house of God that is going to bring the community together, whoo, I'm fired up just thinking about it. That's an exciting thing. Your action is tied to your purpose. And that's the real key there. When you understand your purpose, you can tie things down, purpose, vision, mission, just like I said. But you can get all the way down to those minute details that are so annoying a lot of the time, and you can tie them to your purpose. Are you sending an email because you have to, because emails suck and we just send emails for a living? No, you're sending an email because you are helping to, let's just say the bricklayer's parable, build the house of God. That's what sending that email is tied to, right? So when you understand what those small actions are doing, they're no longer meaningless. They no longer are these tedious tasks that feel like they're just pointless. They are tied to the outcome that you are working towards, tied to that impact, to your purpose, right? So it's really important to understand that. Which one of those bricklayers do you want to be? I'd want to be the third one. I want to understand my purpose, right? The other example I always throw out is, because people, when you talk about purpose, it's like, well, do I have a purpose? Or what if I get my purpose wrong? That's a question we get here at Tribe and Purpose a lot, is what if I get my purpose wrong? Here's the secret. If you get it wrong, you can try again. you can keep trying. You don't have to stick to one thing your entire life and say, this is my purpose, and then never get to change it. You can change it as you go, as you find what is really closer to your heart, what you really care the most about. Because the key there is you have to start taking action in the first place, right? Taking action is very foundational. If you never take action, you are never going to get anywhere. It's better to start taking action with no plan than it is to wait till you have a perfect plan to start taking action, right? So in order to start taking action, you need that imperfect plan, that 80% solution, right? So you have that 80% solution. You go, I think my purpose is this. My purpose is to help people. Okay, great. Start living it. Start finding ways to live that purpose in your daily life. Start tying that purpose to your actions and see how it feels. See if that passion really is there. See if that skill set is there. Maybe there might be a different way that you can pursue that same purpose, but with a different skill set, different area of your life, right? Start to understand all those different things. But what that comes down to is you have to experiment in order to see. You have to take action in order to see if you are on track with it, right? So you have to pick your purpose. Spend some time thinking about it. Don't just blindfold throw darts at the dartboard, right? But you have to define what that is and then start taking action with it to see how it really feels. Go through that honest reflection period. Then the key there is, it's like, what's the right answer? There's another question we kind of give people. It's like, well, is my purpose big enough? Those kind of things, right? It's like the key thing when it comes to understanding your purpose and then also building out your systems and processes to make that impact, to live that purpose, to pursue your purpose, right? Well, it all comes down to what system is best, what purpose is best, what process is best. Well, it's the one that you use. It doesn't really matter what anyone else is using. If you're using it, then it is the most effective thing, even if it's not the most efficient process, right? And I'll throw a couple different examples at you. First I'll use is, let's talk about like working out, right? So there's a reason that so often you will see an article about the health importance, or the health impact rather, of walking and just simple activities like that. It's like, here's the benefits of walking, why you should walk every day. Why are they talking about walking? Is that because walking is the most efficient way to get healthy? No, I mean, look, I ain't a scientist, but I can tell you, rowing, I used to row a lot before I hurt my back. Rowing is probably a much better exercise than walking. You probably get a much better workout, whole body, all those kind of things, get the cardio really going, all that. That's great. That's a much better workout than walking. But here's the deal. You could take that recommendation. You go, Camden said rowing is great. I want to lose weight. I want to row. I want to be healthier. I want to, not get heart disease. I'm going to row because Camden said to row. Well, you go row tomorrow, and you go row for a while, and then you get really sore and tired, and you go, shit, I hate rowing. This sucks. Why am I going to do this? That's why walking is the answer that people put out in front of you. That is the simplest application of the problem set that we're talking about, right? If you walk every single day, walking is easy. If you have two legs that work, you can walk, right? And so by doing that, that is a very easy thing for you to implement inside of your schedule. You can just go take that walk every single day, a little 15-minute walk, and boom, you're fighting heart disease. Awesome. You made progress, right? That is the most effective path for you because it is the solution that you are sticking with, right? Whether it's working out or dieting, the best system is going to be the one that you actually use. And getting into the dieting example there, I always love this study I got from one of my behavioral science classes back in school at the U of A. And we talked about this study that was breaking down this longevity study around different diets, right? And breaking down all of these different diets. It's like, well, what is the best diet? What is the answer? Again, go back to like, what's the best thing? Tell me what to do, right? And if you go through the number one and number two, and frankly, I don't remember the order after all these years, no matter how many times I tell this story, I probably alternate them. But one and two, as far as best diets, most effective diets for those health outcomes were being vegan and vegetarian. Now, this is the part where I always tell every client, like, hey, I bleed red, white, and blue. I got steaks in the fridge. I'm going to go grill tonight, right? I'm not trying to push you a diet on anybody, but it's a behavioral science class. So it's like, what is really going on there? It's not just, we're not going through on a nutritional level of which diet is the most healthy. It's on a behavioral science level. Why is that diet more effective? And it goes back to the bricklayer's parable, tying purpose to action. If you go and you ask a vegan or a vegetarian about why they're doing what they're doing, they will be fired up and they will give you a lot of answers. It's a lot easier to diet because you're saving the animals and saving the planet and being great and you're a hero and all this kind of stuff. It's a lot easier to go through the diet if you're being a hero, if you're saving the planet, if you're saving the cute little animals, all those kind of things. There might be the most efficient diet, probably a mix of a bunch of different things, but you might go through and be like, this is the best possible diet, this is the best thing. But if you hate it, then you're not going to do it. So how do you get over that hate? If it's hard work, right? Rowing, go back to the rowing example. If that's the hard work, then what can you do to inspire action to push through that hard work? Well, it's you're tying your purpose to it, right? If you are if you're saving the planet, saving the critters, all those kind of things, well, then now I have purpose to my action. When I'm debating whether or not I want to, DoorDash some McDonald's in the middle of the night, instead of me debating on a, is this diet, is this going to break my diet? I can get back to my diet tomorrow. All these kind of things, this ifs, ands, and buts, all that kind of stuff. It's just hey, this doesn't align with my purpose of trying to save the planet. Boom, done, right there. So that's why those diets have better outcomes when it comes to longevity, is because people stick with them better. Just like walking, right? You have better outcomes because you are sticking with it. There's all sorts of different studies. You can take that in diet. You can take these diet and workout examples to all sorts of different populations around the world. There's all sorts of different paths up the mountain, right? But the key to understand is, why does that person stick to that path? And it's because it's something that they believe in. That's something that fits them. So the key here really comes down to three things: pick something, take action, experiment, and adjust, and then take some more action, right? And if you keep pushing through like that, you keep experimenting, you try out a new purpose, you try out a new diet, new workout, whatever it is, and you are honest with yourself, take the time, because the easiest and most deadly sin is that we can lie to ourselves. Like, lying to yourself is so easy to do, and it messes things up so much. If you are able to be honest with yourself of like, hey, this diet thing is working, I feel good here, or hey, this isn't working, but I want to make this adjustment, then you're able to find the system that actually works for you. And talk about lying to yourself there, because that it's such an easy pitfall. Like I said, it's the easiest sin. It's one of those things where it's like, if you're talking about making your plan for tomorrow and you're trying to plan out your perfect work schedule and all these kind of things, and you're just like, I want to get up at 5 a.m. because 5 a.m. is when